The word leeching didn't hit me the way it should have. It floated across the Christmas table, between the mashed potatoes and the carved ham, light and almost playful. "You're almost 30, my mom said, topping off her wine. "At some point you have to stop leeching and build your own life." A few relatives nodded in that absent way people do when they assume there must be context they're missing. I didn't correct her. Correcting her would have required listing numbers out loud. $10,000 a month in household expenses. Vendor contracts renegotiated while they were in Greece. Payroll managed during their wellness retreat. In Bali, tax filings submitted while they were posting beach sunsets. I ran the family business because it made sense. I had the degree. I understood the systems. I was responsible. Responsible became permanent. I skipped my college graduation to handle an audit. Skipped a friend's wedding because a shipment got delayed. Skipped dating anyone seriously because there was always something temporary that needed my attention. Temporary stretched into years. Across the table, my brother scrolled through his phone, occasionally smiling at something only he could see. 2 days after Christmas, my parents posted a photo. My brother standing in the driveway beside a brand new Tesla, bow still on the hood. Caption for always being there. I stared at the screen longer than I meant to. Always being there. He worked part-time. Showed up to occasional meetings for photos. Sat at the office sometimes when clients visited. He was visible. I was operational. The difference finally became clear. That night, I went back to the office alone. No dramatic music, no shaking hands. Just fluorescent lights and a login screen. The truth was simple. The business had been structured under my credentials for efficiency. My credit backed the expansion loan. My name was listed as managing director for compliance purposes. Several assets were technically co-owned because it had been easier at the time. Trust makes paperwork lazy. I opened the financial dashboard and began reassigning. Capital contributions I had personally covered, reclassified and reimbursed to my account. Shared assets tied to my liability, segregated. Access privileges, updated. I didn't sabotage anything. I didn't drain operational funds. I just separated what was mine from what wasn't. Every transfer was documented. Time-stamped, professional. By midnight, the structure looked different. Not broken. Just accurate. Before leaving, I compiled everything they would need into a single folder. Active vendor agreements, upcoming tax deadlines, client contact lists, outstanding receivables, passwords and system guides. I loaded it onto a flash drive. Labeled it "Good luck without me," not as a threat, as information. I left it in my dad's desk drawer, exactly where he kept the spare office keys. The next morning, my phone started ringing before I woke up. Missed calls. Messages. Why can't I access the account? Why is the line of credit showing changes? What did you do? I let it ring until noon. Then I called my dad back. What's going on? He demanded. I restructured my involvement, I said calmly. You can't just pull things like that. I didn't pull anything that wasn't mine. Silence. You're being dramatic over a joke. There it was again. Dramatic. I pictured the Tesla, the caption, the comments praising my brother's loyalty. I'm tired, I said. Everyone's tired, he snapped. Not like this. Another silence, this one heavier. You know your brother can't handle the operational side alone. I know, I said. That wasn't cruelty, it was fact. Later that week, they tried to restore the old system. But banks don't move on sentiment. Contracts don't respond to guilt. My name was no longer underwriting their flexibility. They had to attend meetings themselves. Negotiate terms. Handle compliance reviews. Clients started asking questions. Nothing catastrophic happened. The business didn't collapse. It just required effort from people who hadn't needed to exert it before. My brother called once. I didn't ask for the car. He said defensively. Are you quitting? Yes. He paused. What are you going to do? It was the first time in years someone had asked me that without attaching a task. I don't know yet, I admitted. And that felt honest. I enrolled in a certification program I'd postponed 3 times. Booked a trip I'd once canceled because of a critical quarter. Went to a graduation ceremony for a friend's sister just because I could. The family group chat is quieter now. More careful. They still frame things in ways that protect their pride. But something has shifted. They know the difference between presence and labor now, between visibility and responsibility. I don't feel triumphant. There's grief in it. For the years I gave automatically, for the version of myself that thought usefulness was the same thing as love. But burnout has a strange clarity to it. When you finally step back, you realize how much of your life was built around preventing other people's discomfort. This time, I let them sit with it, and for the first time in a long while, I'm building something that doesn't require me to disappear inside it.